This is Michael with United Veterans Worldwide. For my last couple of hours here in Boston before I catch my flight, I wanted to highlight this organization behind me, Home Base. Home Base was a program that in 2019 I attended as an outpatient program for 2 weeks with a cohort of about 12 people, where we received intensive treatment for PTSD, for trauma. This included deliberate situations where we were faced with our back to a crowd, sitting in crowds. I'm trying to remember the name of the therapy, but it really made a difference for me. In here, we also experienced great therapy, fitness, nutrition counseling, and camaraderie that I still keep in touch with these folks today. If you're a veteran who has struggled with PTSD, if you're on the special operations side and you've kept these things bottled up as well, there's a specific program, an outreach program for special ops veterans to come as a cohort together who have served together and go through the same program and receive some of the benefits that really enhance the lives of veterans here, and when you go back home with your families, and also in the workplace. You know, it's an amazing experience to be here, to come inside and see people. It's not an environment where I can film currently because we have patients inside, and I want to respect their privacy. But this type of a program really led to my healing in so many ways, and allows me to have a job today where I'm still employed. And it's been several years where I've worked and had promotions, and I couldn't be more grateful for organizations like this that are nonprofits, that are dedicated to reaching out to veterans and making a space for them. I'll record a couple extra spots here on the property that I remember feeling and experiencing great healing, and I'll continue to update you as I go. Here are some of the views I experienced while here at Home Base. A beautiful marina with the city behind me and the Celtics Stadium behind me as well. A perfect environment full of beauty and liveliness here in the city, where me as a veteran could experience some great healing. This is a bench that I sat on when I had exposure therapy, and there's a walkway over here that leads behind me where people will walk. And so as I sit here, and the challenge was to close my eyes, and people are walking behind me, making noise, crossing this path. I was to think about what the real threats were around me, because every sound, every footstep made me jump, made me look, made me twitch, and increased my fight or flight to the fight mode almost all the time, which was exhausting. And my ability, my tolerance, my emotions, my behavior were unable to cope with such high levels of stress for so long. I mean, it lasted way after combat. But this is where I sat. This is where I experienced that exposure. And I can tell you, I experienced something so powerful as my eyes were closed. And I thought through what was real and what wasn't real, and what was perceived, and what my training had taught me, and how I was still reacting the same way. And for the first time in years, with my eyes closed and people behind me talking, I was able to calm down. I was able to breathe. I was able to recognize what was real and what wasn't. And this was all possible through Home Base. They implemented a methodology that worked for me personally and worked for the others I was with in my cohort, and led to great healing. I'll never forget this location. I'll never forget it. Here is where I had my most powerful experience, and many more, which I'll share at a later point. But I definitely want to highlight that when we need help, when we're at our weakest, we can't just bottle it up. It'll come out in some other way physically. And this is the way that we can find peace and healing.